All right, I'm going to call to order this meeting of the Monroe County Board of Commissioners. It is St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, 2021. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. I will note for the record that I'm joined by Commissioner Jones and Commissioner Githens, and we will begin with our public statement read by Commissioner Jones.
Thank you, and happy St. Patrick's Day. We, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, renew our commitment.
Sorry, Commissioner Jones?
Oh, sorry. My brain's a different place today.
We have spring in our bodies. It's okay. It's like we're all just happy to be.
Oh, I'm fried. Okay, sorry.
Good.
Sorry.
We, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, renew our commitment to welcome and protect the rights of all people, regardless of age, race, color, creed, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, marital status, economic status, and national origin. And we affirm the right of every person to live peacefully and without fear. And we will fight and resist at every step discrimination and harmful policies, whatever their source. We also stand in support of our county public school systems, both RBB and MCCSD.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And with that, we will work through our department updates. And we'll begin first with Ms. Penny Cole. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you and to everybody. I just have a few announcements this morning. Yesterday, our eligibility in the state grew again to 45 years of age and older are now eligible to receive COVID-19 vaccine. Again, all of the eligibility guidelines, all the underlying health conditions, all that information is on the state's vaccine website. So if you're wondering if you're eligible, that's the place to go and check. And we expect to continue to drop those ages as quickly as possible. And 40 will be the next age group that we expect. I don't have an exact date when that will happen. But yesterday, the state said that once we get through that age group of 40 and over, that will essentially account for the ages that accounted for 90% of our COVID deaths. So that is the reason the states use the age-based approach, and they will continue to do that. So please, we encourage everybody again to be vaccinated. It is a tool that we have to fight this infection and really get things back to a more normal state. Cases per 100,000 did drop back a little bit this week. Looks like it will be back to mid 60s. You remember last week I told you it inched up a little bit. It was 75 per 100,000 cases, which was up from 63. And it looks like we will be back around that 63 mark today. So that's a little bit of good news. But again, we are in the midst of a period of time where there's lots of activity and fun and, spring breaks and St. Patrick's Day celebrations and all those kinds of things. So we just encourage everybody to do all of those things safely so that we can continue to see those numbers drop. We are very concerned about staying kind of in that yellow phase. So while you look at that basic map, and the metrics map says we're blue, remember that we do remain in yellow in terms of our cases per 100,000. We really need that to drop. And that causes us concern in part because of the variants that we're seeing across the country and the world. So the B117 UK variant, which is what we're seeing the most in the United States, there's over 4,500 cases that have been identified in 50 states. 57 of those in Indiana. And I want to make note, because I think that this is important, in the last week, we almost doubled the numbers for that variant. Now, the state is also part of the labs across the country who are doing testing for variants. So that may account for simply finding some of them. But again, we know that the variants are here. They're much more easy to spread. And that's why we really need to be very, very careful. The B1351 from South Africa has now been identified in 25 states, and the variant from Brazil, or that was first identified in Brazil, I should say, has been identified in 10 states. So those are our concerns. They're much easier to spread. It's why we need to maintain our precautions, why we need to get vaccinated as soon as we're eligible so that we can fight the spread and the growth of these variants. Those are the tools that we have. And so as we celebrate St. Patrick's Day today, I say, please, please do it in a safe manner. I've seen advertisements for several places and they seem to have good safety plans in place, but their plans are only as good as we also follow them. But even in our homes, let's celebrate, but do it in a safe manner. And I will say, let's drive out this virus and not spread it. And from just a practical health department, non-COVID update, we will be closed. So our septic, our foods division, our administrative division, our vital records divisions will all be closed starting noon tomorrow through Monday so that we can pack up and move home. So we are moving back to the health services building on Friday. We will complete our unpacking on Monday, and we will resume operations on Tuesday. Yes, thank you. So our phones and our computers will be down, so we will not be readily accessible for several days. So keep that in mind. We will be back to appointments only, no walk-in service with county offices, as you know, but we will be open for business through appointments and phone calls and the usual on Tuesday. So thank you for your patience. We're excited to be back. And I'm sure it will take us a little while to adjust to the new space and truly get settled in. So your patience is appreciated with that, but we are very, very excited to move into that new space. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's see if we have comments, questions from Commissioner Jones.
Yeah, I just want to comment that I've been hearing from a few members of the public who are awfully anxious to see all the regulations dropped. And I just really hope that people will take these variants very seriously. If we can just continue to follow the regulations and be careful, they never need to get out of control the way the original one did. So please don't let St. Patrick's Day celebrations get too enthusiastic.
Yeah, and the board is meeting regularly to watch the numbers, to go over the regulations. And again, just want to make small incremental changes, but as those numbers come down, and again, the more that we get people vaccinated as they're eligible, the more that we continue and kind of stay the course for the moment, the faster we can get to a place where those regulations can drop.
That's great. Thank you. Good point. Commissioner Githens.
I understand you were at Meadowwood yesterday. Want to fill us in?
Yes, I wasn't at Meadowwood. I did a Zoom presentation. Actually, yesterday I spoke with Meadowwood and they've kind of restarted their educational series that they do. And then on last Friday, I spoke with Ellettsville Chamber. And so they were pretty much the same presentation, but I just talked a little bit about where we were 14 months ago and what's happened through the course of the year and kind of where we're headed. So
it's amazing that you just keep going and you're out there sharing things with the public. Thank you so much.
Well, those are the fun things to do, but I have to say that I committed to them earlier, thinking that things might be calmer. And sometimes you think, oh, wow, I've really overcommitted myself more than usual, but those are certainly fun things. I enjoyed it.
Besides being at commissioner meetings, which are also fun things I know for you.
Absolutely.
So I think Commissioner Jones raised a really good point. I think it's important to remember that even though we see the ages drop and things like that, we're at like, I think nationwide, we're at what, 12% vaccinated. That is such a low number. And even though everybody's doing everything they can, we're getting a lot more vaccine, I think, in the next couple of weeks based on what the federal government said yesterday, which is great news, but we're not nearly ready. And we could see what's going on in Europe. And if you want to think about the impact of variants and not getting enough vaccine out, the mainland of European continent is a great example to look at. It's frightening. So I'm so glad we're being careful, and that will help us in the long run. We want to try to avoid another lockdown situation coming up. So excellent work as always. Thank you so much, Ms. Cottle. Thank you to your staff, and please take time for yourselves this week. I know moving is a stressful experience and you've been through enough. All right, thank you so much. Let's see what we have from Ms. Allison Moore. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I wanted to announce that we have a blood drive scheduled for today and tomorrow. Tomorrow is full, but today was that day that they had added a few extra spots for us, and we have not been able to fill them all. So if you're on the call or you're listening and you're public and you want to go out and be excited for St. Patrick's Day, I encourage you to make an appointment, wear a mask, and go and make that donation. Because they were added, we still have approximately 50 spots filled for both days, and they expect to get like 100 units of blood over the next couple days. So it's still going to be a very successful next couple days. But if you have that availability, I encourage you to get scheduled right away this morning. We also have 2 dates scheduled in April. They are at the end of the month, the 29th and 30th, and we still do have a lot of appointment slots still available for those 2 days. I know it's early. So if today doesn't work for you, look at the time slots for the 29th and 30th of April and see if you can get scheduled for those. We had our statewide tornado drill yesterday. We had a few hiccups with that statewide drill. Most of our sirens, actually all of our sirens activated, which is awesome. The issues were a little bit of a programming issue in the dispatch center. That's why we do the state drill. So it was delayed a significant amount of time, and we hope that we have updated some SOPs and are going to start doing some quarterly trainings with those dispatchers to make sure that everybody knows exactly what to do for when an actual tornado happens, as we are getting and gearing into that season. So it was a little bit of a challenge, but we are working on protocols and such to make sure that in the future everything goes a little smoother, even though it was successful. As it is tornado month, I just want to remind people that when you do hear those sirens, or you do get a notification on your phone from whatever app that you might use, that you would go to a basement or somewhere underground, outside in a ditch if you happen to be outside, and if you cannot get into a secured location, of course, and then also in the center part of your home if you do not have a basement or wherever you might be located, as it is response week in regards to our tornado prevention month. That is all I have this morning, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Ms. Moore. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
No, well, there has been something in the chat about just how to find the sign up for the blood drive.
Sure. So all of our dates for all of our drives are on our county website. So you can see what dates are available at co.monroe.in.us. And then if you find a time, or even for today, as we know today is a date, you can go to redcross.org and then it says something about how to make an appointment for a donation. You can click on that, and then thank you. I see that someone was able to put that direct link in there for us in that chat, and you can easily then make the time slot that works for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner Jones.
Commissioner Githens.
Yeah, I heard the sirens going off at my house yesterday, but it was really close to 10:30, not at 10.
There was about an 8-minute delay and several phone calls on the back end. But so the sirens worked, everything's successful on our end. All 41 were wonderful. Just a few hiccups within the dispatch CAD, and those have now been worked out. So that's, of course, exactly why we do the state test. But thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I would, I guess, real quickly like to add, we had 41 people that volunteered, most of our ham radios, a lot of our fire departments, some law enforcement, and then, of course, just residences that stepped up to actually have a human body at all 41 of those sirens. So thank you to all of those individuals that could take time out of their day and help us out.
It's a great team effort. And a quick reminder to everyone, if you're not getting those alerts directly on your phone, to please go to co.monroe.in.us, go to resident alert, little megaphone, click on that and work through it. You can receive information by phone, text, or email, or any or all of the above. And this includes health information, but also things like weather warnings, which are so important to have. So please consider doing so, especially text if that's your means of communication, because it's easy to get a text through in an emergency. So
yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Moore. And we will move on to Ms. Ridge. Good morning. Road and highway report.
Good morning. So we are ditching, we're pothole patching, we're tree trimming. So doing the normal spring items. We're working on Tower Ridge Road down in the Polk Township, down by Lawrence County, because Hunters Creek Road will go under reconstruction, and that's already began. We're working on Ketchum Road. We submitted that road from Popcorn to Fluck Mill for a community crossing grant. So we're waiting for word if that was awarded or not at the end of the month, but we will still be utilizing our local funds to provide paving on that road. So asphalt plant will be opening up soon. So we should be able to finish the Profile Parkway extension project and get that wrapped up. So yeah, we're getting ready for a huge, busy construction season. Sample Road is going to go to letting April 7th for one phase and May 5th for the other phase. And we have the Curry Pike, Smith Pike roundabout project. That's also going to letting April 7th. So big projects coming up, and so we're gearing up towards that.
Great. Excellent. And where should people report potholes?
They can go to the county website, and we have a hazard condition. It doesn't have to be just a pothole. They can put what the concern is, suggestions, requests, and then we get emailed directly from that site that somebody has put in a request. You can also call the Highway Garage at 812-825-5355.
Great. Thank you so much. All right. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
Just that it's exciting that the asphalt plant is opening back up and things are going to get moving again. I'm really looking forward to the Curry Pike Smith Road roundabout.
Yeah, that's a very popular project. We anticipate the schedule for that of being utilities in 2021. And that way we won't close the intersection for the winter and then do the construction for the roundabouts or the dog bone roundabout in 2022, unless the utilities get in there and get out of the right way really quick, but we're not going to anticipate that. So we're trying to plan for them mainly doing, there's a lot of utilities there. So
yeah,
so that's kind of the schedule for that.
Thank you.
Great. Excellent. Commissioner Githens, comments, questions?
No, I just hope we don't have any flooding with the rain that's predicted for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's looks like we might get a little over an inch. So the guys at the garage monitor that really well. Also, again, we have a special weather app that we use that we kind of get a little bit live data from that and what's expected in 4 different corners of the county. So we have a location at all 4 of those locations to give us that update on what they're seeing out there. So
Great. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, Ms. Ridge. And next we have Youth Service Bureau, Ms. Nasby. Good morning.
Morning. Thank you, commissioners, for having me today. So the one thing we wanted to do is we are presenting a proclamation to you for National Safe Place Week, as we've had before. It's an opportunity for Youth Services Bureau of Monroe County to raise awareness about this program that helps our young people in crisis. And we also use this week to take the time to thank our staff. And just so everybody knows, our facility was open the entire pandemic. We still took kids, we still worked with families in the safest way possible. And we also thank our community partners who serve as safe place sites so kids can get to our services and have more places that they can access Youth Services Bureau. And so this year will be a little more subdued. We still want to stay in line with all our safety protocols. So most of our activities are online. We'll still run PSAs. We'll still submit a newspaper article, but that'll be a little bit quieter than what we usually do. But we still just want to take the time to recognize this week. It's a national week across the country, so other programs will be recognizing it as well.
Great. Thank you so much. Commissioner Githens, would you do the honors?
Very proud to, yes. Proclamation and observance of National Safe Place Week. Whereas National Safe Place Week will be celebrated across the nation during the week of March 17th through the 23rd, 2021, and the youth of Monroe County, Indiana will determine the future strength of our country and the bearers of our democracy. Youth need a safe haven from various negative influences such as child abuse, substance abuse, and crime, and they need to have resources readily available to assist them when faced with circumstances that comprise their safety. And Safe Place Programming is committed to protect the youth of Monroe County, Indiana by offering access to short-term housing at neighborhood locations where trained volunteers are available to counsel and advise young people seeking assistance and guidance, and designated locations where youth can get information and immediate help. Safe Place is found at businesses such as restaurants, convenience stores, movie theaters, and community buildings such as fire stations, libraries, and public transportation vehicles. And the success of Safe Place is based on public and private collaborations between businesses, school systems, fire departments, law enforcement, and a network of volunteers. And more than 1,400 communities in 36 states administer the Safe Place program at more than 21,000 locations. And since the program's inception in 1983, more than 15 million youth have been educated through National Safe Place Network's Safe Place outreach efforts, familiarizing them with the Safe Place sign and providing them with information about how to seek help in order to stay safe. Increased awareness will encourage more communities to establish Safe Place locations where youth can readily access the help they need. Now, therefore, we, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim our observance of March 17th through 23rd, 2021 as National Safe Place Week. Claim the 17th day of March, 2021.
Great. Thank you so much. Any comments or questions, Commissioner Jones?
Just that I'm really glad that people are participating in this program and that youth are taking advantage of it.
All right. Commissioner Githens?
Oh, I can remember when my boys were young that I would point out all the little markers all around town and say, if something happens, that's where you go. So I'm so pleased that this community has this kind of programming.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we thank you and everyone on staff at the Youth Service Bureau for all your great work throughout the year, not just at this month, but thank you for everything that you do to protect Monroe County youth. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I will pass that on to our staff.
Please, thank you so much. All right, let's see if there's any other department that has an update for us. And I don't see any. Okay. With that, we will move on to public comment. Public comment is reserved at this point in the meeting for items that are not on our agenda. So if anyone does have public comment, please go to the raise hand button at the bottom of the screen to let us know. We'll ask you to identify yourself, and you will be limited to 3 minutes total speaking time. This is also going to be true when we are looking at the public comment time for agenda items. Ms. Dayton, if you could let folks know what sound they will hear at 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Right, when you hear that, this means that you have 30 seconds remaining in your speaking time. I see one hand raised. Mary. Good morning. You will need to unmute.
Morning, Commissioners. It's Mary Elfman.
Oh, surprise. Hello, how are you?
Hi. Good. How you doing?
What can we do for you?
Just to cabbage on to Ms. Cottle's report. I want to make sure that veterans out there know that the Janssen vaccine is available through clinics throughout Indiana for veterans who are eligible for VA healthcare. To my knowledge, there is no age limit, and the veterans would only need to call the Patient Response Center at 317-988-1772 to set up an appointment to get your vaccine. The Janssen vaccine is a one and done, and I am proud to announce that I had mine today. Thank you for your time. I yield the rest of it.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Elfman. Let's see if there is anyone else that wishes to offer public comment for items not on our agenda. Okay. All right. Seeing none, we will move on to our next agenda item.
Move approval of the minutes for March 10th, 2021.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any comments, corrections, or notes?
No.
Okay. Mr. Schilling is here today to take roll for us, although he's not, there he is, great. Hello, Mr. Schilling. Would you please call roll on the approval of the minutes for March 10th, 2021?
Yes. Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Our next item, please.
Move approval of the claims docket accounts payable for March 17th, 2021.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Mr. Miller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The total for accounts payable claims was $1,001,099.29. There were two items, notable items, larger expense amounts. The first of those was $302,570.15, which was for Anthem, Blue Cross, and Blue Shield for March claims and fees. And finally, $231,927.53 was for Kreider and Kreider for the Profile Parkway extension.
Great. Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
Not at this time, thank you.
Commissioner Githens?
No, it's nice to see the Profile Parkway things moving along.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
11 days?
11 days, yep.
We're on the countdown with you, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Simply raise your hand. Click raise hand at the bottom of the screen. You'll have a total of 3 minutes to provide comments. All right, seeing none. Mr. Schilling, will you please call the roll on the approval of the claims docket, accounts payable March 17th, 2021?
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Githens,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Miller. All right. And I will note that we have received a report from the treasurer. The report is from February 2021. And with that, we will move on to new business, please.
Move to approve National Cinemedia Agreement, Fund Name, Runaway and Homeless Youth Professional Services, Fund Number 8120-30013-9621 in the amount of $3,000.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Nesby, good morning again.
So the National Cinemedia contract is part of our Runaway and Homeless Youth Grant Professionals Services line. And we use in-theater advertising and online advertising now to educate and promote the Safe Place program to youth and families in our community. The Safe Place ad runs before every PG-rated movie and as well as every 12 minutes in the lobby on a circulating screen. And then the digital component of the contract focuses on streaming services, which shows ads through Hulu and Amazon Prime and on other streaming channels. There's a whole graphic and probably about 30 different channels that they stream on. I'm still learning all of this, so this is still fun. I'm trying to get used to all of the jargon and what everything means. So we're really excited about these new ways that we're reaching people, especially as we know theater attendance is down, and we did get a 16% discount this year in this contract for the in-theater advertising, and they ran the lobby advertising for free. So the main component of this contract is on the digital streaming services.
Great, thank you so much, Ms. Nesby. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
Just glad that you're getting the news out.
Commissioner Githens?
Oh, I've been quizzing Ms. Nasby for the last couple of days on things. So yeah, I was really impressed with the platforms that they're doing the streaming on. It really cuts across a whole large sector.
It is. So any of the channels that you do see streaming on, they do focus on youth and families. And that's true of any of the media companies that we work with, specifically really targeting those audiences.
Great. Excellent. Thank you for bringing this to us. It's important to, anything we can do to get the word out is important. Let's see if there's any public comments on this item. Simply raise your hand at the bottom of the Zoom screen. And I do not see any hands raised. So with that, Mr. Schilling, will you please call the roll on the motion to approve the National Cinemedia Agreement?
Commissioner Githens,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. And next item, please.
Move to approve Effect TV, formerly Comcast, for Safe Place Program Outreach. Fund name, Runaway and Homeless Youth Professional Services. Fund number 8120-30013-9621 in the amount of $5,000.25.
Second.
Great. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Nasby.
So again, our Comcast contract allows us to educate youth and families at this time in their own homes while they're watching their favorite shows. So commercials are aired on channels specifically, again, targeting family and youth while they're watching the shows that they like. We've moved again more towards an online campaign, which collects data on the effectiveness of the marketing. And what that means is we can actually track how many ads are viewed, the length of time that they're viewed, and then we can report on all of that data. So we like having a little more ROI on our marketing and how we're doing. So that's why we've moved in this direction with Comcast. And they are anticipating about over 200,000 views of this ad, which we're really excited about. And it's concentrated just in the counties that we serve. So it'll be specific to us.
Great, thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
Not at this time.
Commissioner Giffens?
No, again, Ms. Nasby and I have been in contact about some of this, and she's already answered the one question that I had for us. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And let's see if anyone has any comments or questions from the public. Just click on the yellow hand at the bottom of the Zoom screen. And seeing none, we'll come back to Mr. Schilling. Please, if you would please call the roll on the Effect TV agreement for Safe Place program outreach.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Giffens.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. All right, next item, please.
Move to approve Monroe County Entity Reimbursement Grant for COVID-19 expenses. Fund name, County General, Fund number 1000, in the amount of $86,269.07.
Second.
Great, we have a motion and we have a second. Ms. Gregory, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. As you know, we discussed these applications in detail last week. You had a couple questions that Dee and I were going to seek the answers for. You should have received an email with some of those responses containing some of the detail needed. So let's see, we were looking for a receipt, a chamber receipt for one of the entities, which was received. And then I believe we worked out all of the other questions as well. Do you have anything that you would like me to go over specifically?
Well, let's see, Commissioner Jones?
No, I think we've been provided with the information we need.
Right. Commissioner Giffens?
Yeah, thanks for getting the extra details sorted out for us.
Absolutely. And of course, Dee was a huge help with that. So.
Yes, she did a great job. If you could explain, just for folks who may have seen our discussion last Wednesday during our work session, if you could talk about the business that has a Nashville and a Bloomington outlet, and there's a question about a Nashville receipt.
Sure, yes. So the business owner was very helpful with providing a detailed response on that. And to save on shipping, essentially, is what occurs occasionally. So there's a location in Bloomington and a location in Nashville for this particular business. So to save money on the shipping fees, often, all the product will go to one business or the other, and then they kind of, divide up where the actual products they received will go. So the two invoices included, the shipment went to the Nashville location. However, he is quite confident that all the product was used in Bloomington. So I was satisfied. Sure.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. Awesome. All right, let's see if there are any comments or questions from the public. Just click on the raise hand feature. And I don't see any. So Mr. Schilling, will you please call the roll on the Monroe County Entity Reimbursement Grant for COVID-19 expenses?
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Giffens,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Gregory. We appreciate all your help and hard work, and we'll do this all again in a month.
Great. Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. All right. Next item, please.
Move to approve Resolution 2021-14, and ratification of improving court security technological innovation grant. Fund name, Improving Court Security, Fund number 9136, in the amount of $2,600.
So it's the
$26,000.
There you go.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We did hear about this during our work session last week, March 10th. But Ms. Purdy, if you would present the item today, because I know Ms. Abrams is not available.
Most definitely, happy to. This is, as stated, an Improving Court Security and Technical Innovation Grant that was awarded to our Monroe Circuit Court from the state of Indiana. And it was the Deputy Court Administrator, Jama Chandler, who actually submitted the request to the state and was able to bring this grant to us. So just a little background on what this grant will provide. One of the things is digital signage. And that signage is going to provide room assignments, hearing times, announcements, public notices, and directions to the public when they're coming into the Justice Building. In my mind, I envision much like what you see at an airport that gives you the directions as to go. So that's what I see in my mind as part of the digital signage. They're also going to get some additional flat screen TVs. Some of the courtrooms did not have the flat screen, and they found that the flat screen is very helpful, especially during a pandemic, for Zoom hearings and the ability to display exhibits as opposed to passing them around the courtroom. And then the last thing that they're going to be able to get, and this will be for all 10 courtrooms, is document cameras. And that actually allows the counsel of record and any pro se litigants to present pictures, documents, medical records to the court and do so on those big screen TVs. And again, that eliminates the need to pass around documents and have everybody touching one piece of paper. So this is the grant that they received, and I think it sounds really interesting. I think it'd be really good for the public who is attending our courts and our court hearings.
Great, thank you so much, Ms. Purdy. Comments, questions, Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, I think the digital signage is going to be really helpful to the public. It can be a little intimidating going into the courthouse and then trying to figure out where you're supposed to be. So I think this is a really good idea. Thank you. Sorry. I must have a visitor.
I thought they were concurring, you know?
Yeah.
Commissioner Githens?
Yeah, I want to congratulate Jama Chandler and Judge Dekoff for their efforts in securing this grant. I imagine that this will also speed up things within the courtrooms because they're not having to wait while everybody passes those items around. So in addition to COVID safety, it should have multiple benefits to us.
Yeah. And just the transparency is really good. Yeah. Excellent. Great. Thank you for bringing this forward. Let's see if there are any comments or questions. It looks like we have one attendee, Mr. Shelton. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just want to speak in support of this as a CASA. This will make things much easier to find out which courtroom to go to. I've wandered around there trying to find somebody to ask because they don't always end up in the same place. And then also it'll make things safer and more transparent in the courtroom. So thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you, sir. All right, anyone else? Comments or questions? Seeing none, Mr. Schilling, will you please call the roll on Resolution 2021-14 and the ratification of Improving Court Security Technological Innovation Grant?
Commissioner Githens?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll move on to item E, please.
Move to approve cemetery development plan for the Bicentennial Trail Project. Fund name, Cumulative Capital - Trails. Fund number 1138, and the amount is not applicable.
Second.
Right. We have a motion and we have a second. Ms. Ridge.
Good morning again. So the purpose of the cemetery plan is to conform to state law, Indiana Code 14-21-1-26.5. And it basically, if you're disturbing the ground within 100 feet of a burial ground for the purpose of excavating or covering over the ground, then you are required to have this development plan. And we don't have a huge impact in this area, but you're still required to have the plan in place.
Great. Thank you so much. Commissioner Jones, comments, questions?
Not really.
Commissioner Giffens?
No, it was really interesting to read through all that in the packet. I had no idea, and I'm looking at the pictures, and yeah.
Yeah, out of all the projects that I've been involved in, this is my first cemetery plan, so.
I thought I'd seen one years ago.
Probably.
But that would have been it. I mean, it's not common. So
No.
yeah, if anybody wants a little bit of trivial information about how county government works, it's a great packet to read this week. Excellent work as always, making sure everything's done right. So we appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, with that, let's see if there are any comments or questions from attendees. Just simply click on raise hand at the bottom of the screen. And I do not see any. So with that, Mr. Schilling, would you please call the roll on the motion to approve the cemetery development plan for the Bicentennial Trail project?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Giffens.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Ridge. We don't have any appointments today, and just our usual announcements to remind county residents. Every county resident lives in a township. Please contact your township trustee if you need assistance with meeting the basic necessities for you and your family, things like rent and utilities, for example. And there's still a lot of folks in our community suffering from unemployment and reduced wages as a result of COVID. So we've worked with the council and we appreciate their assistance in helping to provide this funding for our residents. So if you need assistance, you may find contact information by going to co.monroe.in.us and clicking on the emergency management page as well. There's a full list of all the contact information for each township trustee. In addition, we are still accepting applications for CARES money assistance for local businesses and social service organizations anywhere in Monroe County. These are grants, not loans. And again, thank you to Monroe County Council for their assistance. And this funding is provided to help with COVID-related expenses, non-payroll expenses that have not been covered by other programs or loans or grants. And we are providing this money as a grant to eligible businesses and social service organizations. The deadline to apply is the end of April. Hopefully with the American Rescue Plan, businesses have other opportunities and social service organizations have other opportunities to ensure that we have a vital economy when we finally emerge from COVID-19. That day will come. We're getting more hopeful every day. And with that, my colleagues have anything else to add for announcements this week?
No, I don't.
Oh.
May I?
Please.
Thank you. Sometimes my head, I swear, is just full of cement because it just completely escaped me this morning, even though it's been like the first thing I thought of. But I wanted to announce to everyone, commissioners already know, that we have hired our new position, which is a fleet and building manager position. And that position went to Greg Cron, who comes to us with 17 years of county experience. He comes with experience in our technical services department, which right now Eric and I are in a joint child custody issue. And he presents with, he's a self-starter, he's innovative in his thinking, and we're really looking forward to being able to get him to be part of our team and help move us forward with the maintenance and management of our buildings and of our fleet. So Greg, are you on here?
Oh, that's
Yes, I'm
why I
here.
didn't know he was
Can you hear me now?
loner.
Okay.
That's why I didn't know. I was like, well, he didn't come today, so okay.
No, I was incognito this time. My apologies.
All right, there you go. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank everyone for this awesome opportunity. I'm really looking forward to getting in with this ground floor with getting our fleet situation under control as we find it now. So I really appreciate the opportunity and look forward to working with each and every one of you. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, and welcome aboard to our little corner of Monroe County government. We're looking forward to working with you and all the great things we're going to be able to get done.
Great.
Excellent. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else from my colleagues?
I just want to welcome Mr. Crone also. This is going to be, like you said, Commissioner Thomas, a great move forward.
Yeah, very exciting.
I would just like to say that in interviewing Mr. Crone, it really seemed that this job kind of fits him like a glove. He seems very well suited to it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Yeah, great. Thank you so much. All right, and with that, we are adjourned. We will come back at how about 11:10? 11:10 for our work session. That work for everybody? Great. Same link. We'll be back at 11:10. Thank you, everyone, and we are adjourned.